guys have any questions, feel free to ask the questions throughout the session. And again, welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. This is another episode of Off the Charts. And today we're going to be talking about manifestation, active manifestation, and how do you do this, right? So first and foremost, anytime you want to achieve something, you have to set that intention first and foremost. When you get out of bed, even when you use the bathroom, when you go and brush your teeth, when you go and do your hair, when you go and put your makeup on, whatever you do, that stuff is programmed within you and you actually set the intention to do that thing. And sometimes we even set our intentions the night before. And even if you don't think that you're actively manifesting, you actually are doing that thing. When you go to bed at night, knowing that you have to get up and go to work the next day, or when you go to bed at night, knowing that you have to get up and do something the next day, again, you're setting that intention to get that thing done. But what often happens, right, or what happens a lot of the time is that things don't always go exactly the way that we wanted it to, right? We just have a loose idea of what we want to happen. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do this. And that thing may or may not happen in the way that you saw it in your mind, right? Now, when most people think about manifesting, and you guys can actually drop some keywords in the chat. I believe all the messages are coming to me, so I do see them. When you think about the word manifest, or you think about, because it's actually an action, manifestation is an action. When you think about that, just go ahead and drop some keywords that come to mind, right? Just go ahead and drop some keywords that come to mind. And I'll read them as they actually come up. And again, I'm on Zoom and I'm also on Instagram as well. So you guys can join wherever you feel the most comfortable, right? So I'll just wait for some of those answers to come in. Oh, creating reality. Okay, I love that, Jordan. That's amazing. And that's exactly what it is, right? You're creating your reality. Anybody else want to go ahead and give a stab at what comes to your mind when you think about manifestation? Because I feel like we talk about this all the time, or we hear it all the time. People are saying, okay, manifest your goals, manifest your dreams. But if you don't have a direct way to actually do that, or you don't understand what's going on, you are going to be just a little bit confused or taken aback, because people typically think that it is just seeing something, right? They think that it is just seeing something. They think that it is just saying your affirmations over and over again, but it's actually a little bit more to that, right? And Jordan so far had the best answer when she said creating your reality. And that's such an amazing explanation of what manifestation is. If we were to Google it, it would actually say an event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea, right? And I'll read that definition again, but of course, you guys can go right to Google. It says an event, especially for people who are taking notes, I'll slow down a little bit. An event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, right? Especially a theory or an abstract idea. Now, it's really important that we highlight the word abstract here, right? It's really important that we highlight the word abstract, because abstract is something that really has no particular shape, form, or void, right? It has no particular shape, form, or void. So we have to give meaning to the things that we're thinking. Right now, when a situation arises or a situation comes up, you can view that as a negative situation, or you can view that as a positive situation, but it's all going to be a result of what you've actually manifested. Now, manifestation should be intentional, but it's not always intentional. Like when you, let's just say somebody pisses you off and you're in a bad mood, and you're sitting there thinking about it and you're feeling it, like you're literally getting angry just thinking about it, even though nothing's happening at that present moment, you are essentially manifesting the negative results or energies or things that continue to happen into your life. Or let's just say something happens that you're not happy with, and you're focusing on those feelings. You're like, oh my God, this always happens. Oh my God, like, why does this always happen to me? Nothing ever goes right. You're also manifesting something negative, because it's such an abstract idea. Just because things didn't go exactly the way you wanted it to, now you're cursing everybody and you're upset simply because your intentions were not clear. So today what we're going to talk about is just getting your intentions a little bit more clear and bringing some clarity to those abstract ideas that often pass through our mind all of the time. And that's really what it starts with. Everything starts in your mind. And that's something that I've been talking about a lot more recently. If you guys had an opportunity to get on my calls, and that's something that I really live my life by, is being really intentional about the things that I'm thinking, about the things that I'm feeling. And it's actually been able to propel me to achieve goals a little bit quicker. Like I'm able to actually think of somebody and then they call me, or I'm able to set a small goal, right? Or not a small goal. None of my goals are small, but I'll set a short-term goal and then I'm able to achieve that goal in such a short amount of time. Now, if this has ever happened to you, just go ahead and drop a 7 in the chat. If you've thought about somebody and they've called you, or if a situation actually did go exactly the way you wanted it to, right? And the difference because, right? And the difference between that, like what happened that you wanted to happen and what happened that you didn't want to happen, and you probably didn't realize this, is that you were doing more than manifesting, right? You were doing active, effective visualization, right? And you guys can write that down. EV, it stands for, it's not electric vehicle, right? You guys know I am into the solar industry as well, but it is effective visualization, right? And effective visualization says that we have to actually get all of our senses involved in something if we actually want to see concrete results, right? So you're probably like, all of my senses. I mean, I know we probably haven't done this since elementary school, but our five senses are actually sight, right? Hearing, taste, touch, and smell, right? Those are the five senses: hearing, taste, sight, touch, and smell. And the key to actually effectively visualizing things correctly is to really hold these images in your mind and to get all of your senses involved, right? Now, this is something that a lot of people are aware of, but I'm not sure if you truly understand that our mind does not think in words, right? Our mind does not think in words. Our mind actually thinks in pictures. I had a really great example that one of my leaders gave on a call the other day. She said that when you think of the word beach, right? If I say beach, the BEACH is not going to pop into your mind. But when I say the word beach, I want you guys to drop some keywords that actually come to mind, right? If I say beach, specifically, when I think of beach, I think about Puerto Rico, right? I think about being in Isla Verde, right? I think about that sand. I think about that beautiful sunset. I think about the pictures that I've taken that just look amazing. I think about the warm weather, right? When you guys hear the word beach, like what do you actually think about? You don't think about the word beach. You think about an image, right? And then along with that image, feelings come as well. I know when I'm on the beach, I feel comfortable. Most of the time when I'm on the beach, I'm feeling really relaxed. I'm feeling really good. I'm having a great time. Usually with family and friends, the beach isn't something I do by myself. So when I think about that, I get really good feelings. And I feel happy. I don't know anybody who thinks about the beach and gets sad, right? So you have to start thinking about the goals that you have, right, as images and pictures, and you have to start actually attaching thoughts, right? You have to start attaching feelings, every feeling to the feeling that you feel when you see or hear that thing, right? Other things that I think of when I'm on the beach, I think of pina coladas, right? I love the taste of pina coladas, right? I think of feeling relaxed, right? I think of specifically in Puerto Rico because that's one of my favorite beaches. I think of the smell of the barbecue food. So when I think about that feeling and I actually think about being back in that space, it makes me feel something right now, right? Now, a lot of people don't typically associate this with something that's positive, but something I can explain it to you a little better as is like PTSD. When people have PTSD, right, the trauma that they experience at some past point in their life is so severe, right? Is so severe that when they actually think about that event, right, they start to feel those feelings and they actually react as if they are still in that moment. Why? Because their thoughts are so attached to that feeling, which and then in turn creates their reality, causing them to have a condition called PTSD, which is extremely uncomfortable to live with because essentially you're being ruled by your thoughts and you're being ruled by your past, right? Now, if this is making sense, guys, so far, just drop a one in the chat, whether you are joining on Zoom or whether you are here on Instagram. Just drop a one in the chat and let me know if you understand that example of PTSD, right? Now, we have to start taking that same concept, but really start to attach it to our future goals and thoughts so that we can get closer to them, right? Like if you can literally put yourself, and this is such a great thing. Bob Proctor was one of my favorite mentors, right? He always mentions your marvelous mind, right? Your marvelous mind, because our mind is one of the greatest tools that we have. And if you can actually get your mind back on track to believe the thoughts that you wanted to believe, to see those images that you want to see, and to feel those feelings that you want to feel, you putting yourself in a much greater position to actually get there. right? You're putting yourself in a much greater position to actually get there. So personally for myself, some of my financial goals, I want to be a billionaire, right? I feel like that's not out of reach. I know people who are making $750,000 or more a month. So it's not something that I see that's too far off from myself. Because honestly, if another human being can do it, you can do it too. But what's the difference between somebody who's already obtained that type of wealth and somebody who's on their way to get it, right? It's the things that we think about and the energy that we put behind those things. Because I know tons of people who have said affirmations. I am so happy and grateful now that I am so happy and grateful now that I am so happy and grateful now that, but nothing's really happened. So once that happens, people really start to question their affirmations. They start to question the things that they're hearing and question the direction that they're setting themselves in just because they don't have their results right then and there, right? Now, like I said, I know I want to be a billionaire, right? Now, if you see yourself being at least a millionaire or a multi-millionaire, right? Just drop a M in the chat, right? Because I really need to see who's here, who am I talking to? Are we on the same frequency? And is this message even going to resonate with you, right? Because your voice is a frequency too. And when people don't feel you, it's because you're not on the same frequency and they cannot relate to what you're saying, right? So shout out to everybody who's dropping M's in the chat, right? Now, when you think about, yep, big M's, even though it's about impact, right? You can make $1 million doing anything. You can make it within I Am Mastery Academy, trading, right? Eventually you'll make $1 million. You can make $1 million launching within I Am Academy. You can make $1 million investing in stocks. You can make $1 million mowing lawns. Bob Proctor made a lot of money cleaning floors, right? So it's not really about how you get that million, but it's about as long as you know you want it, what feelings are you actually attaching to that? Right. And I ask this question on every single off the chart session that we have. When you think about your millionaire self, or when you think about a millionaire, right? When you think about a millionaire, and I need everybody to participate on this one because your idea of what looks rich and wealthy is different. Your idea of what smells rich and wealthy is different. So from what the next person is actually going through. So when you think about riches and wealth and success, I just want you guys to drop some keywords that come to mind. Not even keywords, what images come to your mind when you think about wealth, when you think about success, right? When you think about millionaires, what images come to mind, right? Now, for me, I see comfort, right? I see luxury. I see $55 million homes, right? And if you guys haven't watched the $1 million home tours on YouTube, you need to get with it, right? Because you're stepping up your visualization. Every time I watch those videos, I get happy. My heart flutters. I smile. I feel good, right? I can smell how clean that place is, right? And if you've ever been inside a mansion, a mega mansion, right, you just know it hits different. It's not going to smell the same way that the project smell. It's not going to smell the same way that the neighborhood that you're living in now smell, because that's just not how it works, right? All right, so family, unity, right? Family, unity, money, right? These are things, these are images, right? Not words, but images that actually pop into your mind. And this is another activity or exercise that I like to do every single time. Now, when you get those images, right? The great taste of food. Oh, don't get me started as a chef. Don't get me started on the delicacies of rich eating, right? So when you see these things, right, in your mind, how does it make you feel, right? Because that's actually a very important part of helping you manifest what you want to manifest by getting your senses involved, right? How does that great food taste, Josh? How does your family feel, right? Jordan, how does unity feel now that you've actually been able to reach that level of success? How does that feel? I need you guys to really get in that moment right now and tell me, how does it feel to be rich, right? Because the only difference between the money being in your account and the money not being in your account is the money being in your account and the money not being in your account, right? So we got feeling gratitude, feeling blessed to be black. Okay, I'm with all of that, right? Feeling gratitude, feeling blessed to be black, right? Feeling grateful, feeling happy, right? Feeling accomplished, right? Now, if you can get yourself to feel that way, right, just by thinking of that image, how do you think it would feel if you actually obtain that thing, right? And that's what it's all about. It's about getting all of your senses involved every time you think about the thing that you want or desire the most, right? Now, Bob Proctor, I forgot I had this in, y'all. Bob Proctor, he always says that it's only two things that a person wants to know, that a person needs to know in life to achieve their goals. And I'll just give anybody about 10 seconds to say what those two things are if you know. It's only two things that a person needs to know in order to be able to reach their goals, right? Five, four. I really be studying Bob Proctor, y'all. Three, two, one, right? So he said the two things that you need to know are where you are, right? And where you're going. And I really hope somebody's taking notes because it really is that simple, family. Where you are and where you're going. These are the two things that you need to know and understand, right? He said most people know where they want to go. We just said where we want to go. We want to taste the good food. We want to travel the world. We want to jet set. We want to sleep on beaches, right? Eat the good food, feel gratitude, have our family, have unity, right? That's where we want to go. But he said most people have such a hard time realizing where they are right now, right? Where you are right now and how you got there was not something that you actually chose, right? And I'm going to always break it down because I have to start from the beginning so that you can understand how pivotal this information is and how it could change your life when you really listen and apply it in the right direction, right? My Instagram family, people who's listening here, and also my people on Zoom, right? People don't choose their first names, right? Unless you change your name in the court of law, right? You didn't choose your first name, right? You didn't choose the associations that came with that name. You didn't choose how somebody was going to feel on the other side of the phone when they heard your name. You didn't choose that maybe your name is a little bit hard to pronounce. You didn't choose that maybe you have a basic name that millions of people in the world already have. And maybe people have a stigma against that name because it's so common, right? You didn't choose that. But your name is a huge part of your identity, right? It's a huge part of your identity. Now, I'm going to just use you for an example, Jordan. If I told you that your name was Christine, right? And I just wanted to call you, instead of calling you JM, now I'm calling you CM. I'm just like, hey, CM, hey, Christine. You would not answer me, right? You would not answer me. In fact, you would probably get upset, right? And you would maybe even argue with me that that is not my name. But how do you know that's not your name? How do you know that? How do you know? Right? You only know your name is your name because somebody told you that, right? Somebody told you that that was your name. And somebody told you that, multiple people, right? That you didn't even know because you was just born. Multiple people in your life called you that name so many times until you actually started to believe it. That's crazy, right? Now, that's really crazy, y'all, that somebody told you your name so many times, right? You heard it, right? That sense of yours was involved. You heard your name so many times that you actually believe that that was your name, right? Now drop a one in the chat if you love your name, and when people call you by your name, you answer. Right? Everybody should be dropping a one in the chat because whether it's your first name, it's your nickname, it was given to you by someone else and it was said so many times until it made sense to you. Right? That's repetition. Right? They manifested everything about your character into you by continuously calling you that name. Maybe you're named after your father. Maybe you're named after your grandmother and you maybe just act just like that person. But that had nothing to do with you, right? And a lot of us, when we're babies, everything's being poured into us. We didn't even choose our first language. I didn't choose if I wanted to speak English, right? Because if I would have grew up in China, right, I would have been speaking Chinese. If I would have grew up somewhere else, I would have been speaking a completely different language, right? So I didn't choose my language. It was taught to me by what I heard, right? And by what I heard, I started to believe this is the language that I speak. This is what everybody else around me is doing. So let me just go ahead and duplicate and do the same thing, right? That is the sense of hearing, right? So I really hope you guys are following me so far. We didn't choose our first name. We didn't choose our first name, right? If you guys can still hear me on Instagram, just drop a one because typically when I get a phone call, it for some reason knocks the sound out. But you didn't choose your first name. You didn't choose the first language that you spoke. So something that may or may not shock you is that you also did not choose your first feelings about wealth, about success, about money, right? These things were also taught and forced onto you by the people that were around you, right? Now, I'm not sure how old everybody else is. I'm 29 years old, right? So for 29 years, I've been hearing my name, Chanel, 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 Chanel. That's my name. I believe it, right? And I will again argue with somebody, that's my name. You're not about to call me Sally. You're not about to call me Susan. You're definitely not about to call me Karen, right? You're not about to do that. But I only believe it because that's what I was told. So we have to really think about when it comes to manifesting, right? And making something real and making something believable is going to be a result of something that you hear multiple times, enough times until you believe it. If that makes sense, y'all, drop a 7 in the chat, right? If that makes sense, y'all, drop a 7 in the chat. And welcome to everybody who's just joining us on Instagram. We're talking about manifestation and how your five senses are very involved in the process of you getting what you want or not getting what you want, right? So one thing that I just said was that you didn't choose your first name, right? None of us do, unless you go change it in the court. You didn't choose your first language, so you just be talking gibberish and you don't even know why. And that's crazy in itself. You don't know why you're talking English. You don't know why you speak Spanish. You don't know why. You just know that you do, right? And you also, just piggybacking off of that idea, if you didn't choose these first things about yourself, you didn't choose your first thoughts, right? You didn't choose your first thoughts about worthiness. You didn't choose your first thoughts about success. You didn't choose your first thoughts about becoming a millionaire. But, right, I'm here to tell you today that just because you didn't set the standard for your life, that doesn't mean you cannot change the standard, right? Just because you didn't set the standard for your life, that does not mean that you cannot change the standard. And I just need everybody to drop in the chat right now, change the standard, because that's what it's about. It's about becoming so self-aware, that you know for a fact you will have every single thing, any desire of your heart. I wish I had my book right now with the self-confidence formula. I'm gonna have to look it up. Any desire of your heart will be realized simply because you change the standard of your life by becoming self-aware. Now, this is probably something you're like, oh, I heard this before. I heard Bob Proctor talk about this. I heard this on another call with another leader and another mentor. Okay, but are you doing anything to change the standard of your life? Or are you continuing to live in a way that you've been living simply because it's comfortable, right? When it comes to manifesting, you have to be willing to change everything, right? You got to be willing to change what you're seeing. Exactly. Knowledge is powerful, but now knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is powerful, right? You got to be really willing to get dirty, right? To get nitty with who it is that you were, to sacrifice that for who you actually want to become, right? That's something that you have to get serious about. And this is going to take effective visualization, right? It's not just saying affirmations, right? It's not just having a vision board. I got two vision boards right there, two vision boards in the back. You can't see it on Instagram, but two vision boards and a big calendar right there, right? You can see it on Zoom because I need to see, right? I listen to my affirmations and I say my affirmations because I need to hear, right? But if we know that we have five senses, right? And seeing is one of those senses and hearing is one of those senses. If we're only using two senses, right? And I really hope this is making sense to somebody. If we're only using two senses to manifest something that's going to be in this physical world that we can experience with all five of our senses, why aren't we using all five of our senses to manifest, right? Because you only seeing something and you only hearing something is doing 40% of the job, which is not enough, right? In order to get to your next best self, you need to put in 100%. And on some days, you need to go 110%. And on some days, you need to go 120%, because I don't know how old you are, but you have a lot of unlearning to do if you really want to catapult yourself into success, not just in 22, but beyond that, right? But beyond that, you have a lot of unlearning to do, because you actually may not like your name. I know a lot of people don't like their names. A lot of people, right? And I get this a lot, and you guys can send this to me privately, or you can just answer out loud to yourself. But I've heard a lot of people say, I don't like the sound of my voice on video, right? I don't like the sound of my voice when it's recorded. If you've ever said that, and I'm gonna drop some ones in the chat as well. If you've ever said that, I love my voice now, and I talk a lot. If you've ever said that, just drop a one in the chat, right? Because your voice is one of the most powerful. Some people don't even have the ability to speak. So I'm gonna just need my people who love to shout and praise and thank God, just to thank God, right, for your ability to speak, because some people can't even do that. But you have the ability to program yourself with positive thoughts, positive intentions to actually get you where you want to be using the sound of your own voice, right? Would you really be shocked and surprised if I told you that you had everything you needed to get to the next level? You have everything you need to get whatever it is that you desire in your life. You just have to turn it up a little bit, because a lot of us have been writing stuff down, but we're not getting no results. So what happens when we write our affirmations down and we don't get results? We stop saying them, right? Right? Drop a 3 in the chat if you've ever started affirmations. You were so happy about it. I am so happy and grateful now that yada yada yada, and then you stop because you didn't get what you wanted, right? You just stopped altogether, right? And I see some 3s coming to me in the chat, right? I see a lot of 3s coming to the chat because that's really how it is. If things don't work on our time, we just be so willing to let it go, but we're not willing to modify the approach that we take to actually get what we want. Like, come on now, why is it so easy for us to give up on ourselves, but to not stick it through, right? And I'm really here to teach y'all something today. Like, manifestation is something that anybody can do, but it really takes you getting involved, right? It takes you seeing it. You're going to need a vision board, right? You're going to need a vision board. And if you don't have a vision board, you can go on canva.com. And this is something that I did as well. I just got a bunch of images of things that I wanted. I want all the Rolls Royces, right? I want the Wraith, I want the Phantom, I want the Ghost, I want the Cullinan, I want it all, right? So what did I do? I printed them out. Well, I put them in a photo book, right? I want to be a master chef, right? I put it in a photo book. I want a private 10-passenger jet. I might have to expand it now, right? I might have to expand it. I want a 10-passenger jet, right? It's in the photo book. I printed it. That's something I can physically look at every single day and just be like, because I'm not just thinking about it. I'm not just seeing it. I'm not just seeing it, right? I keep all my perfumes, right? I have so many nice perfumes. This is a Vera Wang Embrace. It smells like pear. It's amazing. But I have so many good perfumes out there. Why? Because when I want to feel wealthier, when I want to feel like my rich self, I'm gonna spray a little bit of something, because that's gonna change everything. Have you ever walked into a place where you feel okay, but then you smell a bad smell and you just like, come on now. Like, I know I definitely feel that way at the fish market, or when I go to like different types of markets and I'm just like, this smell is unbelievable. That will really change your mood. Smells can change your mood. Things you see can change your mood. You ever watch the news and then you just start feeling sad and bad and you don't even know the person. You're just like, oh man, that's just so terrible, right? Because you're seeing it and you're hearing it and you're feeling it, right? And you're feeling it, right? You need to elevate the way that you're manifesting. So I'm going to give you guys some just a little bit of effective tips with how you can actually use your imagination to level up your manifestation game, right? And this just again is going to be again using your 5 senses, right? So first and foremost, I want you guys to close that gap of the people who like I told you earlier, there's a lot of people who is where you are and it's where you want to be. And most people are stuck here. They know where they want to be, but they don't know what they have to do in between. So this is going to be one of those gap fillers where you can use this practically to actually move closer towards your goals, right? You can study Bob Proctor, you can study Napoleon Hill, you can study Jim Rohn, you can study all of these people, right? Andrew Carnegie, right? You can study all of these people. David Emonitier, who's a more modern thought leader, right? You can study all of these people, but if you don't actually believe it yourself, it's never going to happen, family. And I'm sorry to break it to you like that, but it's never going to happen. So first and foremost, I need us to get real about ourselves, and we need to get real about where we are right now, right? And it may not be a place you like, right? Maybe you're not financially stable, right? Maybe you're not living in your dream home. Maybe you're not driving your dream car. Maybe you're not with your dream spouse yet, right? Maybe you don't have those dream kids yet, right? Maybe you just don't have whatever it is that you want. You don't have it now, but that's okay, because you can get it with your mind. And that's the greatest thing about this whole conversation. You can get it with your mind. So first of all, take that discouragement off the table, right? Because it is not welcome here. You can have whatever it is that you desire, right? Through consistent repetition and involving all of your senses, right? And I say this all the time. I'm using a MacBook computer right now. I have an iPhone, right? I have an Apple Watch. These were things that was literally in somebody's mind at one point in time. This little spray bottle, right, with my magic elixir, right, y'all, because I'm an herbalist as well. anything that you see that's in this physical world was once an idea, right? Or a thought in somebody's mind. And if you don't take away anything else from this conversation today, I say this all the time. If somebody can think an airplane, which is the scariest thing of them all, if somebody can think an airplane from concept to creation, if somebody can think these earrings, right? My custom cha-cha earrings, if they can think this from concept to creation, I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna write it down, right? And then I'm gonna make it real. If they can do that, why can't you simply think and grow yourself rich, right? And the answer is that you actually can. You actually can do that. So first of all, decide where you're at right now, right? And just be realistic with yourself, because you're not talking to nobody but yourself, right? So right now, and I'll send you guys a document. Just drop a 333 if you want this document after I finish explaining it. It's called the Who Are You 2.0 document, and it really helped me with this, right? Figure out where you are. Say, okay, my name is Josh, right? I am this amount years old, right? I live in wherever you live at. I live in a wherever you live at. It could be a house, it could be an apartment, it could be a room. I don't know. I have this much money in my bank account. And again, don't be embarrassed about these things, because it's where you are. And Bob Proctor said, we only need to know two things, family: where we are and where we're going, right? Oh, the live ended on IG. All right, I'll deal with that later. But you have to know exactly where you are. You could say, I am a parent. I am not a parent. I am not a present parent. I have this much money in my bank account. This is what I smell like in the morning, right? This is the way I go to work. This is how I get to work. Maybe you're a commuter. Maybe you take the bus. Maybe you take the train. Maybe you take a bike. Maybe you walk. I don't know. It's different for every single person that's on this call, right? Write that down and get a clear image of that. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about that, simply because it's true. This is where you are. Now, the second thing is to write down where you're going. My name is Josh. I don't know if you have a 3-year plan, 1-year plan, 6 months plan, but say I am this much years old. This is where I live. So if you live in, let's just say you live in Oklahoma right now, but you want to live in Miami. So you would write on this side, I live in Oklahoma. On the other side, you would write, I live in Miami, right? On this side, you might write, I smell like, I don't know, cocoa butter lotion, right? That's what you smell like right now. But on this side, you may write, I smell like Armani Rogue Malachite, right? That's another one of my favorite perfumes. So it's just like, you really have to put it down exactly where you want to be, because it's literally, I say this all the time. It's like planning a trip. Your success is like planning a trip. That's the end goal. That's the destination. Now, before you go on a trip, you just don't roll over, pick where you want to go, hop on a plane, right? We're not that rich yet. We don't do that. We decide where we want to go. We get our funds up, right? We choose a flight, right? We plan for these things. And if all goes according to plan, do we or do we not reach that destination, right? If everything goes according to plan, if I pack these red shorts, I know these red shorts should be in my suitcase when I arrive on vacation, right? If I pack this lotion, I know this lotion should be with me when I'm on vacation, right? If I pack specific jewelry for a specific outfit, because that's how I executed it in my mind, I know when I get there, I should be able to execute that outfit. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? Now you have to treat your success and goals the same way. You have to get so specific, right? What is the Bible verse? I always forget. Habakkuk. I always forget how to pronounce it. Two. And it basically says, write it down and make it plain. Write it down and make it plain so that all who sees it may run. And all this means is that your vision of your life should be so detailed that you should be able to hand off that piece of paper, right? Or hand off that note to somebody else, send it to them in an email, and they should be able to be that. They should be able to be that. Oh, you want to live in Miami? How are we going to get there? Are we going to look for apartments? All right, how are we going to do that? We're going to go online today and start looking. All right, we won't make that much money. How are we going to get our money up to get there, right? If your bank account is not where you want to be, how are you going to get it there, right? You know, it only takes, if you make $274 a day, I believe at the end of the year, you made 100K or something like that. So it's really, everything can be broken down into smaller pieces. We just got to see our personal development similarly, right? Our personal development can be broken down to smaller pieces. You're not going to wake up tomorrow. and be a millionaire unless you really hit it big on crypto. You made some investments a long time ago, you get an inheritance, but it's unlikely that most people would become a millionaire overnight. It's just something that takes time. It takes trial and error. It takes you failing. But if you wrote it down, just know that it's going to happen, right? If you know you wrote it down, just know that it's going to happen, right? And this is not something that you guys have to rush, but I want you to be aware of it. And I definitely want you to do this exercise, because when you look at that right side of the paper, the where you want to be side, I need you to really start getting in touch with those emotions, right? I need you to be like, Miami. Like, and I really need you to really get in your bag. And every time you read that list, which should be every day, because remember, it's repetition. Your name is your name because they told you that. Your truth is gonna be your truth because you told you that, right? So every day when you wake up, just be like, oh my God, I'm so happy and grateful. Like, yeah, your affirmations are gonna make more sense now because they're specific to what you want, and you actually want these things. Like, I'm getting chills right now because I want to live in Miami. It's like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I live in Miami. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm in the Sunshine State. I'm so happy and grateful now they got the best Cuban food down here. I'm so happy and grateful now that every time I walk outside is the beach. I'm so happy and grateful now that my family coming to visit me on vacation, right? You got to get in your bag with that feeling. But every single sense needs to be involved. When you walk outside of your Miami penthouse, if that's where you want to be, what do you see? Right? Do you see the little yachts downstairs? Do you have a yacht deck downstairs? When you look outside of your penthouse window, do you see the whole city of Miami? When you look outside your penthouse window, do you see your little dog right there? Do you see your cats? Right? Do you see a world of possibility? Right? Do you see another building that you may be looking to? What do you see when you look outside? Right? And if you don't know what it looks like from Miami penthouse, Google images, because you need to see that. Right? That's where you want to be. You need to see it. So every time you look at that photo, you could just be like, oh my God. I don't care if it's a picture on the wall. You would just be like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this view. I'm so grateful. The reason why I need to live in a penthouse is because I don't like noise. Right? I've had noisy neighbors for the longest time. So to be able to live elevated above everybody else is not bougie. It's my level of comfort, and I need that. Right? So when I look at those pictures, and they're all over there on my vision board, when I look at those pictures, I'm like, yo, I just feel like I'm actually there. Like, I get so attached to that feeling. What do you smell? Right? I know I'm a cook, so I'm smelling my fresh ingredients. They was probably delivered by Instacart, right? Somebody probably bought my ingredients, or maybe I'm actually ordering steak 48 delivered to my door. You know why? Because I live in a penthouse, and this is the lifestyle I want to live. So what smells are you smelling? Like, I'm smelling, I don't even eat steaks no more, but I would definitely cook it for my family and friends. Like, I'm smelling just the steaks. I'm smelling the fresh truffles, the fresh ingredients, the fresh pasta, the fresh pasta, right? Not the box pasta, because everything's better now. Life is good, right? What are you touching? Like, what are the materials that you're feeling? Like, when you step onto your floor, right? And I'm getting real specific because this is my vision, y'all. This is my vision. When you step into your floor in the cold winter nights, because it's getting cold, is it a heated floor? Right? Did you even know heated floors exist? Did you even know that was a thing? Right? Do you have Bluetooth in your bathroom, a sound system? Right? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you feeling when you in that space? Right? How do you feel? Right? How do you really feel when you wake up? And I'm really feeling good, yo. How do you feel when you wake up? You check your bank account, or you don't check your bank account, because you already know for a fact that it's been consistently nothing less than six figures in your bank account for the last 6 months. How you feel, y'all? Let me know in the chat if these visualizations are making you feel like you want to be in this penthouse with the good view, with the good food and the heated floors, right? Drop a 777 in the chat if you can see it, right? David Imonite would say, I see it. 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 I feel it. I see it. I want it, right? But those are my goals. And it's, you know why it's so specific? Because I wrote it down and I made it plain so that anybody who reads it can run with that vision. They can run with the idea. I just said a bunch of words. I didn't show you guys any pictures, but you saw exactly what I said. And if you're anything like me, you felt that thing too. I just be like, heated floors. That's how I know I'm officially rich, y'all. When I got the heated floors and the heated seats and my Rolls Royce. Okay. That's how I know I made it. Don't ask me no questions past that point. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to just wrap it up. I will send y'all that document. I could send it via email. Y'all just text me. Let me put my number down here. This is my personal number, not my business number, but y'all just actually text me and just say, who am I Just say, who am I? Because the name of the document is called Who Are You 2.0. And it's really thorough. It's really, really, really thorough. Let me see if I can just pull it up really quickly to just give you guys a brief of what you're about to get into. And hopefully you use it. Hopefully you love it. Let me see if it's here. Because I love it. I this document every 6 months. You just yeah, it does not hurt to manifest and visualize. So let me go ahead and see if I can pull this up. If not, you guys will see it when you get it. Just give me 10 seconds. And then I'm going to let y'all go. They asked me to add my address and all of this stuff, y'all. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So when you guys can see my screen, just give me a 3 in the chat. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is the document that I will be sending y'all. It's called Who Are You 2.0. Right. And just have these specific want to be literally, let's have some fun and design you 2.0 look like, right? What is your mindset? Right? What does the new and improved you actually think? So get outside of yourself right now and just think about who you want to be just for this whole entire assignment, right? What is your first thought in the morning when you are rich and wealthy? What are you grateful for now that your life is where you want it to be? Heated floors, that's my thing. How do you feel about money, success, failure, love? Get specific about everything the new you feels, right? Now you're going to be a new version of yourself eventually. What are your mantras, right? And I did the liberty to fill in the blank for y'all. I am so happy and grateful now that fill in the blank. I am no longer worried about fill in the blank. I am now at peace with. This could be a relationship with your parents. This could be a relationship with a friend. Like, you're now at peace with that. You rich, you got bread, you don't care about that, right? I am so happy and grateful now that I can finally wake up to heated floors. I'm not off that, y'all. I am proud of my progress, but can work on maybe it's your attitude, maybe it's your patience, maybe it's something that, maybe it's your confidence, maybe it's your spirituality, right? What does the new you look like, right? Is your hair looking like this? You got dreads, you got a shortcut. Is your hair always clean and cut? You get your hair cut every 2 weeks? I know I need to get my vision corrected. So it's going to be a 20/20 vision. I know I'm also getting my teeth whitened as well. So my teeth are going to be hella white, hella light bright, right? What is your weight? If you're not at your ideal weight, write it down. What kind of clothes do you wear, right? Are they name brand? Are they your own brand? Are they your friend's brand? Are you a nudist? That might be what you want. What do you smell like? I smell like Florence by Toka, period. That's my everyday scent, and I'm sticking to it, right? When people see me, they say, wow, you look amazing. Congrats on your new home, most likely, because I want to get into real estate as well. And this is just so specific. What are your streams of income? What are your hobbies? What is your diet? What does your love life look like? What does your sex life look like? Who is in your inner circle? And it may not be some people that's there right now, right? So I'm so excited to send you guys this document. Just please send me a text message and say, who are you? So I can make sure that you get it and you're able to do this on your own time. I just know you all are going to blossom into the best version of yourself because that's what it's designed for. You don't got to impress me. You don't got to impress nobody else. It's just all about you versus you and get into the best version of yourself. So that is all I have for you lovely people today. I will be posting a playback to this video on YouTube, usually typically Thursdays around 2 p.m. So if you did actually miss this, you'll get a chance to watch it back and hear all of the great, amazing gems. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And make sure you guys are following the Cosmic Club over on Instagram because that's where we post all of our daily gems, really fun interactive content, whether you're a trader or you're just a digital entrepreneur. We have tons of amazing stuff over there for you. So make sure you head over there for that and check out my link tree for everything else that I'm currently into, whether you're interested in becoming a solar ambassador, making $1,000 per referral, or becoming a solar consultant and making $7,000 per sale, right? Like I said, there's mad ways to get to the bag. And if I want that penthouse and those heated floors, I need to be tapping into all of them. But that is all for me. I'm done. And I love you, family, and I'll see you later.